Hello and welcome to the third edition of Economic Times Spectrum 2022, presented by Google Cloud. The theme for this year is creating a robust digital future, and one essential ingredient of a robust digital future is cloud. To speak more about his cloud journey, we have with us Mr. Topendra Bhattacharjee, who is the head of digital banking for RBL Bank. Welcome, Topendra. Nice to have you on board.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, if you could start off by telling me how essential was cloud journey for your innovation or growth?
So when we embarked into the journey, the idea was to create something which was more cloud native in nature. And that is how we chose to get onto the cloud journey in this particular foray. What has happened in banking in the last few years, if you may say, uh, there has been a lot of adoption of digital which has happened in the customer base, not primarily through the bank channels but through multiple other channels which happened during this period. While it was accelerated by COVID, but these were always there in the annual, while making space for themselves. So for example, my competition came from fintechs, which built certain seamless customer experience journeys, which took over a lot of customer transactions at the tertiary level. Uh, to add to that, when UPI happened, and it happened in the way that we see it now, and I'm sure everyone understands and sees it in that volume and scale, there was another wave which came in, and a lot of customer adoption of digital happened. Now, customer adoption of digital was not only happening from the fintech journeys or the financial institutions providing digital uh, channels per se, but it was also happening because customers were using WhatsApp, customers were using e-commerce. Everywhere, if you saw, customer experience on digital was only improving by the day. And therefore came in the expectation from the customer. And the expectation from the customer came in a way where if they were treated in a particular way in the other parts of their life, then why not in banking as well? And that is where we needed to create something which was that seamless and that much more robust and scalable. So when we embarked into this journey, which was more cloud native as a customer, solution, we thought from a perspective of how should the architecture look, and that was more from the perspective that in the bank we had, and this is true to every bank, where we have these compartmentalized databases. Primarily because we live on various systems, and each system or each business is built on its own, and we have been building this building on this legacy architecture for a while now. Now, given that this legacy architecture was already there, we thought, how will we build such seamless journeys for these customers? Or how will we compete at that customer experience level that our counterparts across other life cycle solutions for the customers were providing? So therefore came again the question as to how do we structure this, and that is when we embarked into our first attempt into creating a customer data platform of our own. Now, the customer data platform essentially gets in customer data, individual customer data, into one space which lies otherwise across multiple databases in the organization. So when we created that cohesiveness inside our data, is when we attempted to create that cohesiveness inside our data, is when we needed something which was much more scalable and much more resilient. And it couldn't have been done in our regular architecture. Therefore, our need to come into, or rather migrate to the cloud was very critical. Here we were trying to build a cloud native platform which was supposed to support and build for the digitally native customer base. And therefore we were looking at a solution which would help us scale at that level or build at that level where we could seamlessly provide these services.
How did using Google Cloud prove advantages to you to scale this particular idea or to scale the business in general?
So we had multiple options around, how do we scale and what should be our architecture. So we as a bank are a multi-cloud scenario, and we have our solutions or our applications on other cloud providers as well. However, in this case, we were looking at someone who could support us in building this together. And in that case, GCP or Google was not just a cloud provider, but they came in as a partner. And when I say partner, they came in with a lot of solutioning around what we were planning to do. They supported us while we drew up the architecture. They also supported us with a lot of insight on what more Google could do in terms of building this business and making it profitable for both of us. So that made us really lean towards Google. And typically Google, being Google, has its abilities in multiple spaces apart from just cloud. Interestingly for us, they came up with the Google One proposition, which actually gave us insight into the Google Marketing Cloud. They gave us an advantage around building various other properties around say GPay, GMC, and so on. So we were doing we actually were able to decide and bend in favor of Google, primarily because we were able to see a lot of support, and we saw them coming in for the long haul rather than building it like a cloud transaction. That supported that decision a lot, and therefore we were able to choose Google and start building on Google.
The post-sale support was what sold?
You can say the post-sale support. More than that, when we sat down to build the strategy, they were with us.
Perfect.
And
So
that built a lot of confidence around how we would build. And we had all types of support coming in from Google in that format, and therefore it was really useful for us to have them on board.
So it was more of a collaboration between you and Google.
Somewhat so. However, we are still a customer, but we really work as partners.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. And thank you for all those wonderful insights you gave us, and about you briefed us about the partnership that you have with Google and how it proved to be advantageous. Thank you so much, Topendra. It was so nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.